Newry people say it's a miracle no one was killed in the attack. There were 6 shells altogether, but none of them hit the intended target, the Edward Street police station. 2 landed on this house in Corrie Square, where an 80-year-old man was at home with friends. Another pierced the roof of the house next door, but didn't explode. A 4th hit a busy supermarket on the opposite side of the street. The 2 other rockets never left the launching pad. One of them exploded in the firing tubes, carried on a stolen Toyota van, parked in wasteland behind a row of houses in Lower Catherine Street, just 50 yards on the other side of the station. The explosion showered debris and shrapnel on the surrounding houses. They'd just been repaired after a car bomb exploded in the street at the end of August.
And I was in the kitchen by the table and looked out of the back door and I saw the flame rising up by that wall at the back. And I thought it was a firework. And of course, I soon knew it wasn't a firework when I heard the explosion. So I called Jackie, she came in, and the 2 of us got under the kitchen table.
And then there was a series of explosions?
There was, yes, there was. But the very last one was just unbelievable. You know, that was, I think, maybe they exploded altogether. I didn't know where they were coming from. I knew I saw the flame there, but it was just unbelievable, and we are lucky to be alive. Whoever do these things, they never consider, you know, what it does to the people. And it's, I don't know, I think they're mad.
In the house next door, a young family was watching television when the attack took place. A huge chunk of the van hurtled through the kitchen window. No one was hurt, but the children were badly shocked and still in tears this morning. The rockets were launched just after 5 o'clock yesterday evening, when the streets were busy with shoppers and people on their way home from work. Altogether, 35 were injured. Among them, 4-year-old Aveen Lynch, who was shopping in the supermarket with her mother. She's in the Royal Children's Hospital in Belfast with head injuries caused by shrapnel. She's said to be ill but improving. Ambulances shuttled the injured to the Daisy Hill Hospital in Newry, where the hospital's emergency procedures, refined after previous major terrorist incidents, rolled into action.
The scene was one of chaos. It really was frantic, everyone rushing around, ambulances coming in, relatives coming, rushing in the door, people screaming. It was really chaotic and really devastating to see it.
And at that point you wouldn't have been aware of the exact extent of the injuries?
We hadn't even been warned that there was anyone coming until the ambulances rushed to the door with casualties and relatives coming in and out and looking for their relatives.
Now, you had 34 people delivered to the hospital. What kind of injuries did they have?
Number of head injuries, eye injuries, a lot of lacerations and shock.
11 patients were detained overnight in the hospital. 4 were transferred to Belfast. 9 police officers were killed in a mortar attack on this police station in February last year. Since then, there have been other attacks, the last a car bomb in August. Unionist politicians have called repeatedly for tighter security in the area, but the local MP says that's not the answer.
Well, the reality of the situation is that in that area of South Armagh and Newry, we probably have the highest incidence of security in the north of Ireland. I work it out to be somewhere a fortified army and police base to every 2,000 of the population, and that's very, very high indeed. The reality of the situation is that the Provisional IRA seem now to be concentrating all their efforts on that constituency, that they are now trying to effect 2 things. Number 1, to bring about a very drastic increase in security, which will have an effect on the population, number 1, and I have no doubt, number 2, what they're trying to do is to destroy the Anglo-Irish Agreement, and in that they will not succeed.
Is it having an effect on the population?
I think that the reaction in Newry last night is indicative of what people are thinking. There was absolute bitterness and hatred towards the Provisional IRA for the way in which they tried to murder people, whether they be policemen or civilians. I think there is a great resentment at what they have done, great resentment at the pain and suffering they have caused to old and young, and the way in which they have tried to destroy Newry, a shopping town, on the run-up to the Christmas holidays.